And when these two chemicals combine, they create an incredible reaction. We just pour them together and pretty cool, huh? I'm sorry. I need to take a break. Do you need to go to the bathroom? No, I need a break. You look fine to me. No, I'm really not. I need a break. Look, I know that you are using your autism diagnosis to get out of class when you don't like what's going on. It's not going to work with me, so stay put. Stop that! What are you doing? I told you I needed a break. So rude. All right, let's get back to the lesson. Aren't you going to call somebody? No, I'm not wasting my time on that. I'm focusing on you all. Hey, do we have a baby cousin yet? Francie, are you okay? No, I had a meltdown in Miss Parker's class because she wouldn't let me take a break, and I told her I needed a break, but she wouldn't let me take a break, and then... Overstimulation? Yes. Okay, do me a favor. Take a really deep breath. Good. Do you have your noise-canceling headphones with you today? Yeah, but Miss Parker never lets me wear them. Okay, so we're just doing a review today. You have already shown me that you really understand this material, so go ahead and put your headphones on, play a little music in there if you need to, just relax for the day, and here's the bathroom pass. If you need to, just take this, write the time on it before you go, and just step out, take a few minutes. We'll just use my class for a reset, okay? Okay, thank you. Of course. Hey! All right, now it's time for the vocabulary. Oh, I know. Miss Manx, Francie just left. Oh, yeah, it's okay. She had somebody that she needed to go see at this time, so I just gave her a pass ahead of time. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right, it looks like some groups might be rushing through it. Remember, I don't care about you being the fastest. I care about you doing it the right way. Okay, I'm seeing some great answers. Yep, you guys have a wonderful day. Francie, could I talk to you for a second? Yeah. Are you feeling a little bit better? Yeah, I am. Do you feel like you can make it through the rest of your classes today is what I really want to know. Do you feel like you can go? Do you need a nurse pass? Need to go call mom? Anything like that? I think I'm okay. I don't want to go to Miss Parker tomorrow. Why don't you leave that to me? If you tell her that I complained, she's just going to be mad. But you didn't complain. I saw that you weren't feeling right, and I asked you about it, and you were honest with me. That's very different. I think she'll still be mad. If she gets mad at you for the conversation that I have with her, I really need you to tell me because I will advocate for you to be put into a different class entirely. Okay, thanks, Miss Minx. I'll let you know if I get bad again. Sounds good. I'll see you later, Francie. Miss Parker. Miss Manx, to what do I owe the pleasure? I want to talk to you about Francie. Oh, here we go. Triggered much? No, it's the end of the day, and I'd really like to get going. Can we do this some other time? Miss Parker, I really think this will only take a minute of your time. I'll walk with you out to your car if that's what it takes, but we need to have this conversation today. Look, it's just that I know you're just going to make excuses for her, and I really don't have time for that. Why do you think I'm going to be making excuses for anybody? Look, Franny doesn't like science, and she is being dramatic, and she's using her autism to get out of my class and not do what she doesn't want to do. Really? I thought she loved science. Huh. Clearly not. What are you looking at? Let me ask you a question. How would you feel if somebody was, constantly screaming while you were trying to teach? I would lose my mind, but what does that have to do with... what about if someone was, drumming on the desk the whole class period, or, taking paper and crunching it up and throwing it away and getting another piece and crunching it up and throwing it away? Obviously, all of that would drive me crazy. What is your point? Okay, so the airflow from your vent, that's the paper crunching. The fan clicking inside, That's the pencil drumming. And that radio that you always have playing, even though it's quiet over on your desk, that's the constant screaming for Franny. What? And that's what it's like being in a room like this for somebody who has autism or who has auditory processing disorder or sensory processing disorder. 2 out of the 3, Franny has. All of that can be extremely overwhelming and make it impossible to focus. So imagine how amazing it is to have a student with low support needs who has the self-awareness to recognize when she's on the verge of overstimulation and meltdown and can advocate for herself to leave a situation before it gets to that point. Oh, and imagine how infuriating it would be for her to have somebody in a position of power and authority take that ability away from her and then get mad at her for having issues on top of everything else. I had no idea it was like that. I'm sorry. I'm not the one you need to be apologizing to. You're right. I'll pull Franny to the side tomorrow and apologize to her. I'm not sure that's how you should handle it. What do you mean? You embarrassed and belittled her in front of the entire class. And I'd be willing to bet that you said something after she had to storm out, just so you could feel like you were maintaining control over the situation to some extent. If you ask me, I think she deserves an apology in front of the same people you embarrassed her in front of. I can't do that. You can and you should. Francie would know that a private apology would just be your way of trying to save face and not be held accountable in front of anybody else. But an apology in front of everyone, where you model for all of your students that grown-ups are fallible too, and setting the example for what an apology looks and sounds like, that wouldn't just be healing for Franny. It would be an incredible show to everybody. Just the right way to resolve a conflict and to admit to wrongdoing. If I admit that I was wrong in front of that entire class, I'll never have control again. I don't believe that's the case at all. I completely misconstrued a situation in my classroom a couple of weeks ago, and I scolded a student, and when he showed me that I was wrong, I apologized immediately in front of everyone, loud enough so that they could hear, and I said that it was on me. And now that kid says hi to me every single day, and I still have the respect of my students. I wouldn't even know what to say. Well, first and foremost, you're not to say anything in front of anyone else regarding her autism or her sensory processing disorder, but you don't have to in order to apologize properly. I can't believe I'm doing this. Can you help me? Of course, I will say how I would word it, and then you can take it and put it into your own wording, okay? All right. So you get the class into the classroom, get them seated, get them quieted down, and you tell them, before we get started for the day, Franny, I owe you an apology. Yesterday, you communicated to me that you were getting overwhelmed and you needed to take a break. And I didn't listen to you and I ignored your needs. And that led you to have a crisis in my classroom. And then after you left my classroom, I said something unkind that I never should have said. And I said all of this and did all of this in front of all of these people here. And I want you to know that I am truly sorry for what I did to you, and I am going to make steps to ensure that I never do that to you again. I don't expect you to accept my apology, but I hope that you will forgive me. Wow, that's a lot. But it meets the criteria for an appropriate apology. You say sorry for what you did. You name what you did. You acknowledge why it was wrong. And then you tell them what you're going to do in the future to right that wrong. And I think she deserves every bit of it. Yeah, do you think you could send all of that to me in an email? I mean, I'm not going to memorize it like a script or anything, but I really screwed up with her. I want to make it right. And I think I'm going to need to read over that a couple more times. I'll send it before I go home today. Thank you. And thank you for not just yelling at me for screwing up. You're human. Just like me and Franny and every other kid who walks into our classrooms. We are all going to screw up. And sometimes we need a little help with making it right. Yeah. In the past, I'm not sure I would have been willing to accept that help. But I'm glad I'm listening now. Me too. Have a good day, Miss Parker.